Okay. So the question is, okay, can you just repeat the question once?
Like how to choose a task mindfully, so that we can think, oh, this task fall under the zone 2 part, so this needs to be done and this needs to be avoided, like that.
Right. So, I mean, if I understood your problem correctly, it's like, oh, on a given day, you'll just like choose a task without really thinking about whether it's zone one, zone two, and then you'll just do it. Um, and then also you said something else. You said you're a very what person? In what did you say? Something. I'm a very something person.
I'm a very like hyper element, I jump on things very easily. I suffer to be. I'm not a very consistent person
Okay, I'm
when
not,
it
yeah,
comes to
not a
learn
very,
something, or I
okay,
jump on task.
okay, okay, cool. So there's two things here. Okay. The first thing is just like choosing tasks. If you're choosing tasks on a day-to-day basis, that's going to be hard, right? It's going to be very, very hard for you to keep the entire kind of context or thing in mind. That's why we've done this execution thing. Okay. So what we want to do is to choose tasks at the beginning of the week, and we want to choose tasks that kind of align with our long-term goals, right? I think this is the same issue you're having with the uh, how to like read or how to progress in your kind of um, learning of the DSA or whatever kind of the thing that you're trying to learn, right? The machine learning stuff. So these are your, so when you choose your weekly goals, okay, ideally they should be aligned to these things. So what we've done is we haven't done this part yet, but what we figured out is these are like your big roles, right? These are all the things that you need to do in life, right? These are some of the big goals that you have here. So if you'll notice, these are all zone two stuff, right? Find a job. I mean, this could be AIML, but I mean, this could be zone one, but zone two also. Learn about, this is definitely zone two. This is definitely zone two. This, by the nature of it, is zone two. And this is zone one, but part of the zone one that's really important, right? So you've not picked any zone three, zone four tasks here. Then you kind of prioritize them and figured out these are your actual goals, right? These are all going to be again long term, like zone one or zone two. Now when you're doing your weekly planning, right, you want to try and find, so you're in stage two of weekly planning, right? So you want to set your weekly goals. So the way you're going to set your weekly goals is you're going to refer back to all of these things that you've so carefully and kind of thoughtfully written down, right? You know that these are your goals. So what you want to do is try and figure out weekly goals that align with these long to medium term goals. Does that make sense? So don't be trying to figure out what you're doing on a day to day basis. Try to do it on a week basis. And the reason that that'll work eventually is because we have a process by which we're iterating on how we're doing that, right? So you do weekly planning in some way this week. Then you find next week that actually, oh, like I executed well, but I just picked the wrong goals, right? There's a mechanism to tell you that. When you do your review, so there's certain points, there's 2 points at which we're like deliberately creating some distance from the work that you're doing and asking you to think in a slightly long-term way, which is both the planning and the review stage, right? And that's what will set you up to kind of, in the long term, just improve on how you're setting goals, right? Even if right now you set all zone three goals, that's fine, right? Eventually you'll figure out that, oh, something is wrong here because actually it won't lead you to kind of where you want to go, right? So that's one thing. So one kind of, there's two parts to your answer. The first part is don't do daily planning. Okay, do a weekly plan. And the way the weekly planning is right now set up is it'll almost force you to think about zone two stuff, right? Zone one, zone two. You won't, on a weekly basis, you won't end up doing zone three because you have all of this other context, right? That's one part of the answer. The second part of the answer, which is very kind of a different kind of thing, which is I am an inconsistent person. Okay. The truth is that you're not an inconsistent person. There's no such thing as an inconsistent person. Okay. What you have observed in the past is, so let's, okay, this is really fun. I love this. Communication. Okay. So this is module 3, course 1. It's called the basics of communication. And there's 4 parts to this. The first part is called observation versus evaluation. Okay. So let's talk about what this means. So an evaluation, so something happened out there in the world. Okay. Some event happened. If you just report that event as it is, okay, that's an observation. If you add some of your own thoughts or opinions to that thing and report it, it's called a evaluation. Okay. I'll give you an example. Uh, uh, yeah, I don't know what's a really simple example. Oh, my father is a good man. Okay. This is an evaluation because I'm characterizing my father as a good man, right? What I could have seen him do is like, oh, he gave 10 rupees to this person in the road, right? Or I have never seen my father yell at anyone. Okay. That's the observation. That's what actually happened. If I'm saying he's a good man, I'm taking that and I'm adding my own opinions and thoughts to it and extending it to the future. Okay. Does this idea make sense of observation versus evaluation? So observations are what actually happens, right? It's some event or series of events that have happened in the past. Evaluation is that plus our own like ideas about what that means for the future, right? And a characterization. Okay. So your state, okay. So let's do, does that make sense? Yeah. Let's do a little quiz. Okay. This one I've done. Is this an evaluation or an observation?
This is an evaluation
Why?
because it hasn't stated the event. It has stated the event plus the opinion.
Fantastic. Observation, evaluation.
My observation.
Next one.
Evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
Observation.
Uh, my brother always forgets to take out the trash.
You observed so.
We could observe that my brother has never taken out the trash so far. I have lived with my brother for 20 years and I cannot remember a single time he's taken out the trash. That's an observation, right?
Yes, sir.
Always forgets. Extends this into the future. This is not what you've seen. This is what you've concluded. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes, sir.
So observation, evaluation.
Evaluation.
Next.
Hmm. I guess it falls under evaluation.
Evaluate. What does suspiciously mean? Right? You've come to work today and you haven't taken off your coat, and that's you've never done that before. That's an observation. Right?
Yes, sir.
Suspiciously, that's like something in my mind. Yeah.
Observation. Evaluation.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to give you a new one. She is an inconsistent person. Observation or evaluation?
Evaluation.
Evaluation, right? So what have you observed in the past is, oh, you didn't finish certain tasks, or in the past there have been times when I didn't complete the task that I was supposed to do, or something like that, right? When you say that, oh, I am an inconsistent person, you're kind of putting yourself into a box which only exists in your head, right? And then you're like, oh, like this makes sense, and then you start acting out that like programming, right? So don't do that. You're not an inconsistent person, right? You're just like, you've done something in the past and not been able to complete them. Okay. So yeah, take a look at this. Is really fun, and try to get to the feeling and the need that you have, which is the second and third part of this framework. But you're not an inconsistent person. Okay. Don't think that about yourself. You haven't done it so far. Tomorrow you can decide and do it differently. Right? Make sense? Cool. Okay, we can talk more about this later. We can talk about this module also if you want to do
Yes,
it
sir.
next time. Okay. Awesome. All right. I am gonna go now. I will see you guys tomorrow. Please do your like yeah, whatever you're doing today, that's fine. But tomorrow we'll kind of do our end of week stuff. Okay. Okay. Bye.